Hi folks, this is Vic, also known as SC Closer with Vic C Stories and Tall Tales. I think the last episode I was telling you about how I got a trial of duty because of my eyesight. And I hinted around to you, there was one time I had a little issue with my eyesight, but I came through. I'm going to tell you that story right now. I was an electrician in the U.S. Navy, which made me an engineer. And in engineers, we had to go to firefighting schools because basically we were trained to fight fires on the ship. Engineers they drilled that into us all the time. So when I got out to San Diego to my first ship, the first thing they sent me to firefighting school out there in San Diego. So I go over to the firefighting school, and we're over there, and I wasn't allowed to wear my contacts because when you're going in these places that the heat's real hot, they were concerned that your contacts, I had soft contacts, they were worried that the soft contacts might melt to your eyes or damage your eyes, so you couldn't wear them. So I was wearing my glasses. So we went over there and we're suiting up to go into this simulator. When we were simulating, you had to climb up a tower, and then you were simulating going down several decks into the ship, and you were going down into the main spaces, which have been like the engine room or the fire room or something. And we were simulating fighting a Class Bravo fire, which is a fuel oil fire. And they put me on a number one nozzle. And you have two hoses that go down. You got number one and number two. Number one is the one actually fighting the fire. Number two has a little attachment on there, and they're spraying water over the number one hose team to keep them cool as they go down in the fire. And number two kind of follows them a little bit back. Okay. They put me on number one hose team, and I was the nozzleman. Okay. And I had to lead these people down. Well, that's fine, except for when you put on these OBAs, which is the oxygen breathing apparatuses, so that we can actually breathe in the smoke. It had a little canister, so it was producing oxygen so that we would be able to breathe. We couldn't have went in there without it because they really lit fuel oil on fire, and there was smoke everywhere. So I had to take my glasses off, and I had to put them in my pocket so that I could get a seal around my face. So as in the last episode, if I wasn't correctable, I would have been legally blind. I can't hardly see. So I'm standing up on this platform about to lead number one hose team down, blind. And there's a chief standing there. And I said, "Hey, chief." He said, "Yeah." I said, "I got a small problem." He says, "What's that?" I'm like, "Well, I can't wear my glasses." I said, I can't hardly see. I was like, "You got me number one nozzleman here. I got to lead these guys down. I can't see, chief. You need to put me, back on the hose somewhere." I said, I shouldn't be leading the people down." And he looked at me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he pointed. He said, "You see down there?" He said, "Look down that ladder." I said, "Yes, yeah, I'm looking." He said, "You see that orange glow down there?" I said, "Yeah, chief, I see the orange glow." That's the fire. Okay? You just walk towards that. And I said, "Okay." He says, "Look, when you get in there, there's smoke everywhere. And the closer you get, the worse it's going to get. Nobody can see." He said, "That's not going to hurt you at all. Nobody can see. You just keep walking towards that orange glow until you're relieved." And I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And when they told us to go, we went in and I led the team down. We got down there and I was down there putting out that fire until I got relieved and went back to the back of the line. So that's my firefighting school story about how I couldn't see, but it didn't make much difference.